I think we have some breaking news, some found footage that we wanted to review, right?
Yeah, Brian, you can chime in here. It's been a much discussed subject of whether Ralphie May. When did Ralphie pass? 3 years? 4 years?
It's a few years, yeah.
Good all-around guy, funny
2017.
comedian. Ralphie May was appearing on Jimmy Kimmel Live and slipped coming down the stairs, although he says it was a pratfall, so we have to examine the footage.
Jeff, this is your buddy coming up. Actually, he's a buddy of mine, too, but he's more your buddy.
Right.
So you asked if you could introduce our next guest. And go ahead.
You guys ready for some hilarious comedy?
Yes.
Jeff Ross.
Our next guest, besides being my good friend, is just the funniest guy I know, and we got him live in person. Please, everybody, a big, warm welcome for the one and only, hilarious Ralphie May.
Ralphie's 400 pounds. Uncle Frank came running out there.
They said break a leg, so I gave it a shot.
Huh? It's a joke.
I gave it a shot. Finally, this show's funny. Okay. You're welcome. It's good to be here tonight. I enjoyed my trip.
I did have jokes. But did he come up with those? Fall looked pretty damn realistic to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brian, did you see it?
I saw it. Yeah, I don't know. I think he fell.
Yeah, what's to be gained from pretending? Like that high risk, low reward.
I agree. It looked like a fall. Anyway.
But as a consummate professional, pulled it off.
And he's now tripping in heaven.
That's right. So a woman in Argentina has become the second documented person whose own immune system may have cured their HIV. This has happened before. This case serves
Magic Johnson's first.
That's right. One of two proofs of concept that a so-called sterilizing cure of the virus is apparently possible.
I always felt bad for Magic Johnson's doctors.
Why?
Because every time they interview, it's like, I want to thank Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
The good Lord.
My wife.
Man upstairs.
It was a death sentence. But through my faith and devotion to the man, it's like, hey, and these bunch of dudes over here fucking lost a bunch of sleep keeping you alive, too. He just kept thanking Christ and thanking this is like divine.
And the doctors pushed the boundaries of medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is heretofore untold. This was a death sentence.
Yes, it was a death sentence.
I mean, this is a little bit off subject, but that you're literally touching on the thing that makes me absolutely the craziest about sports, which is after a game, always interview the winner. And the people who like need to thank Jesus and God for the victory, as though one, God cares, and two, was rooting for you. It makes me so angry. It just makes me so angry.
Wouldn't have God therefore made the other team lose?
Correct.
Yes.
A vengeful God.
You are loved more than the other team. It just is so crazy.
Did you ever bring this up with Jenna Fisher in the Dundies episode when she said, I'd like to thank God because I believe he's in this Chili's tonight?
Yeah, but I think she's making
I do too.
I think she's making the same joke. I mean, she's doesn't agree with that either.
She gets the Dundee for the whitest cats.
Facetious.
Yeah.
There you go. I used the word facetious on your program.
It's not fair to the defensive coordinator and whoever put the plan together. It's not fair to Magic Johnson's doctors. And you would never do that. Like, let's just say you had a lot of water damage in your home.
Right.
And because a pipe burst when you were on vacation, and then some crew came in and replaced all the drywall and used all the aerators and dried everything up. And then you would say to the crew, I want to thank Jesus Christ. Like, they'd go, no, we busted our hump doing this cleanup job. Right, I'm going to thank the big man upstairs.
Yes.
It's like, that wouldn't make sense. It makes the same sense with Magic Johnson or the pro athlete.
The way you put it, you know who's notorious for that? Extreme Makeover Home Edition, winning the sweepstakes, anything like that. That's somebody, making your house this more, beautiful renovation. Oh, thank you, God. There's a God. He's good. I'm like, they were up for one whole week doing this.
Thank
They
the
didn't
Armenian
sleep.
guy who did the grout on the top.
That's right. You're right. So the way this shakes out is the study's authors found that these two individuals, I think they're both women, their immune system appeared to have destroyed cells that harbored HIV that was capable of producing viable new copies. Left over were only infected cells in which the viral genetic code was spliced into a kind of genetic dead zone. So the copies that are made that can advance you to AIDS from HIV, their body just killed it on its own.
All right. So we got to drink their blood.
I guess so, yeah.
Right?
Well, no, actually, so I think in this particular case, these two women could thank God.
yeah.
You are right.
When you're right.
In this particular case.
We got to infect them with COVID now.
Right, just to see what happens.
We got to get their super immune system to work.
To study them.
Bottle it.
COVID's T-ball compared to AIDS. You know what I mean? Like, hey, come on, you guys can handle this in one weekend. Let's put those fucking cells to work, ladies.
That's a really good idea.
Start breeding them.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are familiar with the QAnon Shaman, yes?
Oh, yeah.
With the big buffalo head and the paint.
You know, I was thinking, can you find... Now, the real version of that guy is like kind of balding and kind of pathetic, like when you see him in his prison jumpsuit and everything. But there's a picture of him where he's got the helmet on. He's got the Fred Flintstone Moose Lodge helmet on. He's got the tats. He's got the painted face, and he's leaned back. It's the most kind of iconic picture of the guy. He's just sort of leaned back. He's all teeth. He looks like svelte and muscular. He's got a bald head, but you can't see it with the thing on. It's a perfect portrait of this guy. He looks like handsome and rugged and everything. And when I heard that he got like 47 months or something like that, I was like, it's worth it for that picture. That picture.
Might be for him.
You got to see the picture.
Kind of Bravehearty.
I was going to say Braveheart. Yeah.
It's literally like it was staged. It's like the right angle, the right lighting.
I got to see this.
And he walks around. He's like, he's a 4.5. In this picture, he's
12.
a 10.
Yeah.
Sorry. He does have his mouth open. I mean,
warrior.
If
he's howling at the moon.
Not that he's getting his own postage stamp anytime soon. But you can see the medallion around his neck, his teeth. Look, say what you want about the man, but the orthodonture is not his problem. He's got just a business part of the spear with the top of the flag. It really looks like somebody made that for a T-shirt.
No, you're right.
So
looks like a still from a movie.
It's a Rage Against the Machine album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like an album cover. Yeah, I mean, most of us go through our lives without anything close to this.
No.
I think it was. I think
worth it.
I think now he probably regrets it.
Yeah.
Chris,
couple
put
years
my
from now.
fifth grade picture next to this, or a little side by side.
Well, he did get 41 months in prison for his role over at the Capitol. CNN reports that the Justice Department had asked for, his name is Jacob Chansley, to receive a harsh sentence as a way to set an example to everybody else. Chansley gained that fame as the QAnon Shaman, which I don't think he wants to be called anymore. And other judges are likely to look at other sentences as a possible benchmark, since Chansley is one of the first felony defendants among more than 660 Capitol rioters that they're going to receive punishment. So, and he's the one that asked for the organic meals in prison, yes?
Yeah, he's nuts. I think his mom is nuts. I think his mom did like an interview from Phoenix or something. Maybe I broke down the game film with Mark Garagos, but his mom, remember, I don't know, 8 months ago, kind of made a statement, sat down for an interview.
Oh, boy.
Turned out to be kind of wackadoodle. It made the rounds a little.
It's shocking that his mother is somehow crazy.
I know.
I'm being facetious.
I know.
Second time I've used the word.
That's the best portrait of a crazy person ever, right?
Yeah, that's that dude. It's like you said, 4 years, kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Considering get out probably 2.5, 3.
I have a quote. Oh, boy. Oh, that's him in regular old life. Less majestic.
Yeah, I'm saying that's a flat.
Is that better? Is that a better portrait than like the iconic Charlie Manson one? It's pretty close.
I'm trying to. Well, the one with the X and the swastika in the forehead one, or which one?
With his eyes looking super, super crazy. I'm just talking about images.
I don't know.
Which one would you prefer on a stamp?
Well, I like the Ted Bundy portrait, the black and white. I don't know.
The dating game.
I'm telling you, you know how they find, CNN does it, MSNBC will do it, and like Fox will do it, where they're talking about someone they don't like, and they find a picture of them always looking stupid,
a lot of upshadow,
or weird or evil or something. CNN, don't run with this one. There's no more flattering shot of this guy.
Majestic.
Get the fucking prison one.
Would you like to hear a quote from Martha Chansley, his mother?
Every time I see that picture, I'm like, I'd follow that guy. Yeah. I mean, if he said, come on, I'd go, where to?
Where to? How far?
I'd hear him out.
I'd hear him out. Look at him.
So here's what Martha Chansley had to say. You tell me how close this matches up to Chris Carolla defending you about something.
All right.
She says, it takes a lot of courage to be a patriot, okay? And to stand up for what it is that you believe in. Not everybody wants to be the person up front. He's probably the most gentlest person I know. He's trying to get people to hear his message. Wake up, wake up. Do we still live in the United States of America? And she's pissed that they wouldn't give him his organic lunch.
Well, I don't know. She's probably not this sophisticated. I should ask Aragos this. But if I was captured and they were trying to pitch here's how much time I'm going to do, and I was kind of going, I'm mentally unstable, I would definitely tell my mom to act batshit crazy during an interview.
Really drive the point home.
Really, the acorn and fall that far from the tree.
Right.
Like, do not be studious and eloquent. I need you to be batshit crazy, Mom, so I can go, look what I'm dealing with here.
Right. Yeah.
Of course. All right.
Although she could have just come out totally against him and said, he's always been a nuisance. He's always been a scallywag.
He's a scallywag.
A scam.
Scallywag?
Yeah, we should bring that back
rapscallion.
pronto.
Right. Let's move on. Remember when we talked about Quentin Tarantino? The big deal was he was going to sell some stuff from Pulp Fiction as NFTs and make like a fortune. Well, Miramax has a problem with this, and this actually makes sense. Of course, they're suing him over this, his planned sale of this stuff. They report that Tarantino announced earlier this month, we talked about it, he's selling these NFTs of 7 original scenes from Pulp Fiction, and they'll include excerpts from the original handwritten script for the film, as well as exclusive commentary from Tarantino. But Miramax has filed a complaint saying that the director infringed on intellectual property rights relating to one of Miramax's most iconic and valuable film properties by just saying, I'll offer these up, I'll sell them. So I'll keep you posted on.
Wasn't that Weinstein's company?
It sure was.
So we're rooting for Miramax.
Yes.
This is a very interesting story because, as we've mentioned before, I wrote this book about The Office, and in terms of like his script and original notes and all of that stuff, what's interesting is that if you have a script and you write notes in it, and by the way, whenever you write notes in it, you've still written notes on that does become your own intellectual property. Similar to if you're in a movie, right, or a movie, let's say Pulp Fiction, because that's what we're talking about. If Sam Jackson has a photo or Quentin took a photo on the set, that's also his.
Really?
That is true. I can help. I should be a lawyer. Do you want me to come in for lawyer?
That would be great.
Chris, take a picture of Chewbacca Man. I'm going to license that shit.
The photo is yours, and anything, even if it's on a script that's written, that's their words. If you change that in some way, it becomes yours.
Listen,
good to know.
They've moved about 100,000 Let's Go Brandon t-shirts in the last 2 months. I could move Chewbacca Man.
Yeah.
I could move that
you can
t-shirt.
Make it work.
So, yeah.
I know from being a big Tarantino fan that at least early in his career and possibly to this day, he always wrote his scripts out longhand, with a black pen and a red pen. He always had a black pen, a red pen for revisions, black pen for first draft. Obviously, made it over to, a typewriter early in his career and computer later in his career for shooting. But with the actual handwritten script, that's why they said handwritten scripts.
Right.
He would write it out by hand. So that, I would imagine, is his property. You can do whatever you want.
I guess. Although, God, we're talking about a lot of money.
Because you wouldn't register that with WGA, for example.
But once Miramax says, we'll finance this movie, do they also say and anything that goes along with this movie is obviously ours now. Like they're buying it as a bundle.
Yeah, I don't know. We should ask Flo about bundling, but I do look forward to him being a crazy older man.
Yeah.
Like there's certain people, there's certain people. I've brought a few women up where it's going to be great when they're in their 70s and completely insane.
Yeah.
Their hair alone, is going to be jet black. They're going to be the jet black, like dyed beard and stuff like that. Like it's going to be like, I'm not interested in what Tom Bergeron is like when he's 77. That's
more the same.
No interest to me. But Tarantino, that I wait for.
He got a lot more interesting after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because he made a killing on that movie. So you mix old Tarantino with F me money. Oh, we're in the stratosphere now.
There's nobody whose movies I anticipate more than his. I love it when his movies come out.
Well, let's talk about somebody else with F me money. So there was a ceremony to rename the Duke Ellington School of the Arts High School Theater after Dave Chappelle. That's delayed right now after students threatened to protest. The event was supposed to be in just a couple days on November 23rd. It's been moved to April of next year. In a statement posted to the website on Friday, the D.C. public school, which Chappelle graduated from, by the way, in 1991.
Why are they doing Duke like that?
Yeah.
Well, this is what they said. Yeah, right. It's time to move on. But they said, as a learning institution that champions inclusivity, diversity, equity, and belonging, we care deeply about protecting the well-being and dignity of every member of our student body, faculty, and the community. We also believe moving forward.
Hold on a second. I went to junior high and high school. They didn't give two shits about the kids. There's no inclusion or diversity, or we care deeply about. Nobody cared deeply about anything in my high school. But didn't he want to give them money?
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to cut him a check for like $100,000.
And then they'll rename the theater. But
the naming rights.
Well, that's the thing. They're not saying they won't do it. They're just going to settle the kids down for a couple of months and then go forward.
I think they first said no, and then somebody went, that's $100 large, man. What are you doing?
For
and then
DC public
said,
school.
Fine. Oh, fuck kids. Jesus Christ.
Finally, someone said
huge mistake.
Brave
All
enough.
this fucking empowered fucking kids, the worst fucking idea ever. You got to blame Whitney Houston for saying they were our future.
Right.
And then the whole self-esteem movement's been a fuck. Just shut up, kids. Don't give a fuck. And by the way, you're gone in 10 minutes. There's another class.
Exactly.
All right.
This is not great news. I'm hoping I was thinking it might be fake. I hope it is. But local health workers in some Chinese cities are apparently breaking into people's homes and killing their pets while the owners are in quarantine. This is according to NPR, not The Onion. The outlet reports that in one case, a dog owner watched through her home security camera as people clothed in hazmat suits entered her home, beat her pet corgi to death with iron rods while she was quarantined at their facility.
And we're giving them the Olympics? Fuck that. I'm with Chewbacca, man.
She ended up testing negative for COVID, by the way.
Is this to prevent COVID spread?
Well, so...
Because there's much easier ways, much more economical ways to take on the dog.
Under immense pressure to keep COVID infections near zero, local health authorities have been taking these extreme measures to prevent local transmissions. Other cities have reported killing multiple pets under the same circumstances. And by the way, the CDC says, yes, humans can transmit to their animals, but there's almost no evidence of animals transmitting to humans. Very, very, very low.
Wet Market, good name for GSV, by the way.
That's right.
I can't. I'm sorry. It got breezed by way too quickly that you blamed Whitney Houston for the entitlement of children today. That is unbelievable.
She's one of the people I blame. She's not. I don't say it all falls on her shoulder.
It's not solely her.
You know what? This is going well, so maybe we should just keep going and
Kevin,
not get off onto this Whitney Houston thing. I have strong feelings about it.
He testified before Congress and said that.
That's right. I blame the children. I blame Whitney for empowering the children, and now...
I don't mind you blaming the children. It's Whitney that makes me really laugh.
Well, I mean, look, people listen to those songs, and they take them to heart. You know what I mean? I mean, somebody wrote down just innocently, I think I'll write down Macarena. And next thing you know, entire culture's absorbed with it. And then everyone's out plying out doing the Macarena.
Who
songs
did
make
the
a
dogs
difference.
out?
Someone let the dogs out. Now we got a bunch of dead dogs in China.
That's right.
So words mean something.
Maybe not to you,
Maybe not
Brian,
to you.
but to us.
There's no script for life, okay? We're not allowed to doodle on something that Mindy Kaling handed to us.
Call it our own.
Call it our own. We'll do a cameo on it. It's a little more nuanced than that, Brian. I hate to say.
All right, Gina. Try to recover here.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay, very good. So pumpkin pie, apple pie, pecan pie, sit down. It's not your year. Everybody's getting upstaged this year as the Hershey Company introduces a 3.5 pound, 9-inch peanut butter cup pie, quote unquote, for the holidays. It's essentially one just enormous peanut butter cup. If you want to take a crack at this thing, there's only 3,000 of them, and it's available for $45 on the Hershey website. It's just a massive peanut butter cup.
All right, couple things. You have to be careful with pie around Thanksgiving because they'll have the pumpkin pie and then they'll have the lemon meringue pie and they'll have the pecan pie. And my thing on Thanksgiving is I don't want to decide on a pie. I would like to try all the pies.
The sampler platter.
That's the move.
Yeah.
You go the Hershey's, it's too rich. It's too much. You're never going to get to the apple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's also, I'm a purist with a pie. This is not pie. This is candy.
It's
got
circular.
Got no business
right.
here.
That's my favorite candy. Hands down, no question. I even find this to be retch-worthy.
There's a reason they come in quarter-sized, pieces.
Right. So it's basically like going, wouldn't you love eating 28 of them at once?
No.
That would ruin the whole rest.
Yeah.
I like to start with the pumpkin because it kind of leaves the room for the other ones. It's not as rich as the others.
Right. It's a little fluffier, and it's not overwhelmingly sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your crystal brain strikes again. I don't care for it. TMZ reports that Jeff Bezos thinks planet Earth is going to be more like a vacation spot in the future rather than the home base of our people. Adam was saying on another show that I did not like that with this sort of space race, it's also the ultra wealthy can get the F off the planet and leave all of us to fend for ourselves. So it looks like that's kind of his softer way of pitching this.
Well, I mean, you turn on the news and it's either somebody saying, we're ruining the planet. We're on the clock. Every day is getting worse than every year. I think, God, somebody tweeted me today, Max Zapata. I think it was Chuck Schumer. It's just like every year's going to get worse from this day on.
Well,
we're ruining the planet.
Right?
It's every day is going to get worse. So that's one news story. And the next news story is another billionaire is trying to get off the planet. So
Do the math.
Well, I'm watching the news. I feel like maybe they know something.
Yeah. I always think of, and Brian, you can help me with this quote, Brian Bishop from Interstellar, when, because our planet's losing oxygen and the last one to stave off starvation will be the first one to suffocate. Or something like that.
Oh, something like that. Yeah, I forget the exact line, but it's just dystopian.
Yeah, again, I'm Team Meteor. I just want to be taken out. I don't want to deal with any of that shit. But he thinks that we're all going to be living in these floating space cities that are going to have forests and rivers and wildlife, and we're literally going to visit Earth like Disneyland.
Well, maybe literally. I hope they keep Disneyland up and running.
Yeah.
That'd be a good.
What else are we coming back to?
By the way, I grew up in North Hollywood, Valley Village, that area. I couldn't get my fucking parents to drive me to Disneyland. I couldn't imagine if I was making a different planet.
Intergalactic.
Come on, Dad. Gas up the shuttle. I couldn't get down the 26 miles. Forget about interplanetary travel.
Yeah.
That would have been a non-stop. My mom wouldn't give me a ride to Teddy Lewis's house in Van Nuys when we lived in North Hollywood. I could only imagine the pitch for, let's go to another planet. Come on.
Yeah, he thinks that everybody's going to start being born in space. It's going to be the people born on Earth will be dying off in the not too distant future.
Well, it is kind of Well, first off, this guy sells a lot of junk on the internet, right?
And how?
Which definitely makes him good at that.
Right.
But what does he know about, why does he know about the future in space? We tend to listen because he's smart.
He took an online bookstore and now he runs the world.
Yeah,
I know, but there's a lot of guys that have done really well in certain, we don't say to the chick who started Spanx, tell us about the future. You know what I mean? We get that she had an idea and she executed it.
The future is all about fat distribution between your thighs and your ass.
That's what I imagined she would say. But I get we should ask him over, the guy who's skimming your pool or something like that. But does he know everything that's going to happen in the future?
That's a very good question.
We'll find out soon enough.
Do we have time for one more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been wanting to show you this. The Swiss have created the world's tiniest functioning handgun. And when I say tiny, I mean it. This is about the size of your thumb and weighs less than an ounce. We have a picture of it. It's the Swiss minigun, and it works just like any old revolver, but it's tiny.
I like how it's modeled with a trigger, but the trigger extends.
Right,
so
it has to.
actually use it.
It's very expensive, at least for what you're getting. The minigun will run about $7,000. It's not like you'd be able to really hurt anyone or stop anyone, but it would probably smart. Oh, and it's already banned in the U.S.
Isn't a minigun the thing that's mounted on the side of a helicopter that Schwarzenegger shot at the Predator?
The Gatling one?
I thought they just called that a minigun. Not the official name, but like that giant, is I've always heard it called a minigun.
It is called a minigun, the M134. The fakest part about any action movie, they do it in all the good action movies, even in Fast and Furious. At some point, the helicopter or the gunship with the minigun crashes into a heap, and then Dolph Lundgren will rip the minigun off and walk down the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. It's like, I don't think that would function if you just ripped it off the side of the crashed helicopter and just started. I feel like you'd have to plug it in somewhere.
It's mounted for a reason.
Charge the batteries or something. I'm sure the manufacturers would go, no, our Gatling gun is not going to work as you walk away from the crashed helicopter. But all right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That joke did not work.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Last but not least, there's LifeLock. Think it's easy to spot a scam email? Think again. Cyber criminals use spear phishing attacks to focus on individuals, tricking them by posing as a friend, a boss, or a family member. It's important.
And they're called spear phishing.
Spear
phishing. Because there's
phishing,
phishing, of course, but this is more targeted.
Yeah, they're getting really targeted. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Every day we put our info at risk on the internet. In an instant, cyber criminals could harm your finances and your credit. Good thing there's a LifeLock. LifeLock helps detect a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. If they detect your information has potentially been compromised, they'll send you an alert. They're LifeLock, right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can keep what's yours with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year with promo code ADAM. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head to lifelock.com. Use promo code ADAM for 25% off.
Welcome to Dunder Mifflin is the name of the book, The Ultimate Oral History of The Office, which is available now on Amazon. Let's get a little more rocket fuel in that guy's tank. Brian, thank you so much for joining us again, as per usual.
Thank you, guys.
Come by.
Thank you, guys.
When you're when you're in LA, come by and see us.
I will for sure. Thanks so much, you guys.
Always a good time. Brea Improv coming up December 15th. Taping shows there. TJ Miller and Patrick Warburton. And then Helium will all be out December 22nd, 23rd in Portland. So say hi and check out all the racing shows on our Pluto TV channel 687. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Brian Baumgartner and Gina Grad and Bald Brian saying mahalo. Everyone's out plying out doing the Macarena.
Who
Songs
did
make
the
a
dogs
difference.
out?
Yeah, someone let the dogs out. Now we got a bunch of dead dogs in China.
That's right.
So words mean something.
Maybe not to you,
Maybe not to
Brian,
you.
but to us.
There's no script for life, okay? We're not allowed to doodle on something that Mindy Kaling handed to us.
Call it our own.